I thought today would be too early, but I thought I'll come and have a look just in case. I didn't expect to find one of these. And then I didn't expect to find a second one. It's February the 8th. It's a mild February the 8th. And the oil beetles are starting to come out. I'm back on Budby South Forest today. I didn't expect to be here, but I didn't expect that it would be as mild as it is. It's very nearly in danger of reaching double figures, and I know that's amazingly high to other places across the world who are suffering with cold temperatures and proper winters. I wouldn't call this a proper winter, although it is indicative of what we get nowadays. But I have a surprise behind me. That scruffy bit of a bank that's covered in dead bracken is home to a very special beetle. And that very special beetle is already out. Oh, just look at this. Or rather these. Who would have thought that I would be looking at two freshly emerged oil beetles on a mild day on the 8th of February. This is the earliest they've ever been out here on Budby South Forest, and I'm in my usual spot. I've checked the first two banks, no sign, and I was walking around the lowest one, and then I saw these. I didn't expect to see these, and I am somewhat stunned that two oil beetles are out on the 8th of February. I always look forward to seeing the first oil beetles of any year. And I just can't believe these two are here. The other one's gone for a bit of a wander, so I'm trying to keep an eye on where he is. But this one, which is a male, they are both males, I can tell you that by the strongly kinked antenna. And obviously they are small. These, the one we're looking at is slightly larger than the one that went waltzing off and continues to waltz off. And it's about almost 20 mil in length, this particular specimen. I'm quite shocked. In fact, I'm very shocked, because it's probably the earliest here by about 10 days. And as I've walked up to Budby South Forest, to this western end, the temperature was 9 centigrade. I've always felt that these are just waiting over winter, just for a warm day or a mild day, milder than it has been. Today's the day. I think when I first noticed both these beetles, they were having a little feed. Now they're looking for somewhere to tuck themselves away. It was just the off chance that I came here today, and I didn't believe for a minute that it would pay off. They're great when they sit still and allow you to film, but they become a pain when they get in wanderlust mode. But I'm sure that this one is looking for somewhere just to tuck itself away, knowing that the temperature is going to drop later on. And this one has found a blade of grass to its liking. Or at least just a quick taste. Well, finally it's settled down and allows us to have a look. I know if you've watched this channel for any number of years, you will probably be fed up of seeing these, but these are one of the key species in any year for me. As I mentioned earlier, depending on how I edit this nonsense, I do like to come out and find these. I always look forward to the first mild day when I think that, yes, maybe oil beetles might be out. We've had low temperatures for, well, a couple of months really. It's not reached double figures in the day, but I think today it probably will. There's glimpses of sun trying to break through the dense cloud, but I say it was 9 centigrade today, and I thought, is there a chance? I'd been somewhere else and there were some Aphodus prodromus dung beetles starting to fly, and so I thought maybe there's a slim chance, and if you don't look, you don't find out. And each year I always like to try and break the record for the first one out, and this is it by a considerable margin. I think it's about 10 days ahead of any other early oil beetles. What a thing. And the other one is still plodding around. It's coming back towards me, but I like it when they do this and get the head down and have 10 minutes. I imagine that both these have emerged today, and interestingly they were within a couple of inches of each other. They're a super beetle, they really are. And for the start of the second week in February, who wouldn't want to see one of these? Here's the other oil beetle, the second of the two. I'll go back around these banks and have a look. They're becoming more depleted in grass. There's only a couple of spots on each bank really where the grass grows, and that's the place to look. Now you can see the fissures and pits and other areas on those elytra which aren't big enough to cover the abdomen. You can see the pronotum there and hints of violet on those legs and antenna. And they do this a lot. They will feed and have a wander around, and then while it's relatively cool and certainly very early in the season, they will hunker down. As it gets later, they'll go deeper into the vegetation. But they're a fabulous beetle. Well, I've had another check on the two banks that I've just showed you, and there's no sign of any other oil beetles. Doesn't mean that there aren't any more out. There could be, but they could have just took themselves away like the two that I've filmed now have. It's a very early date, but it's worth you looking in your local area if you do have oil beetles, and in particular Meloe proscarabaeus. And I say this is the earliest date that I've recorded them, and I think that anybody else has recorded them in Nottinghamshire too. Marvellous. I thought I would have to come back in another fortnight or so's time, depending on how the weather goes. I have a feeling that we will get another cold snap yet, and that will put these beetles back a bit, but I'm sure that those that have already emerged today will just go deep into the vegetation and hunker down and wait that colder weather out. Alternatively, it could stay mild and get even milder, which is sometimes the case as we go into March. We shall have to see what March provides, whether it comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb, or vice versa.